Okay, back again for more Hauloween, and let's see if we get lucky again with some more short deliveries. But there's nowhere really that close anymore. And we don't want to go over to the same place twice. Steamboat Springs, that's fine. That works really well, actually. We can do either of those things. Well, this one's closer to me, so I know which one I'm taking. And it's not too far. And we can stop off at that gas station to fill up and to rest.
Let's do this. Rerouting.
Yeah, nice little shortcut there.
Keep left, and then turn left.
Of course, accepting the external contract early means that even getting to the job we're already limited to 65. That just is while ever the contract is active, regardless of whether or not you're actually hauling the trailer. But that's fine. I thought that was the turning I wanted.
Keep left, and then turn left. Turn left. You have arrived at your destination. Your route guidance is now finished.
This way, okay. To the left, to the left. And now reverse.
Let's get this job done.
Bit early for indicating. 2.5 hours. But that includes speeding through town a little bit, though time dilation in the town means that you don't gain as much from speeding in town as you do versus speeding out on the open road.
Go straight.
Not having to navigate intersections or anything here, so we're just going to take the scenic view and enjoy the town.
Go straight.
Okay. That is the downside to skipping through traffic lights, is you sometimes run the risk of smacking into traffic. But, you know, it's a risk I'm generally willing to take. It's always really sketchy in some of the speedruns where you do have intersections and you're zooming through at 160 k's an hour. That if there's a car in just the wrong place at the wrong time, unless you're really quick on getting into the menu to reset traffic by changing graphic settings, then you're just over. I was wondering what that noise was before, and it went away when I went into the cab. I think it's meant to be like cicadas and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna cut in front of you, dude. Because you're in a very inconvenient place for how wide I was taking that corner.
Make a U-turn. Recomputing.
But I do want to go all the way down to the end of the road.
Never mind. I'll find a new route. Okay.
So we want to rest and fill up.
Recomputing.
So...
Never mind.
Oh, apparently I can just rest
I'll
here.
find a new route.
Even though I'm not parked anywhere in particular, so that's great. 5:25 in the morning, that's acceptable. I don't like doing night driving too much in these sorts of streams, but early morning's fine because it gets bright pretty quickly. So it's a little bit of extra onto the time for this particular delivery, but it's still a short delivery, which is nice.
Turn right.
Don't even know what that guy was waiting for. Okay, so this time we just go straight through the next bit instead of having to turn. That's good. No one's coming. That is the advantage with the third person view, is you can generally see a bit further ahead than you otherwise would if you're just in the cab, because you've got this slight elevation. Welcome to colorful Colorado.
Keep right.
So I assume that's meant to be like outdoor ambience, that sort of scratchy sort of noise. You might be able to hear it just over the music. Seems to be wherever I put the camera. So that's what makes me think it's just a general outdoor ambience. Not usually noticed it though. View with the sunset sunrise, the sun coming up. Certainly find it harder to do nice smooth corners from the third person view. Don't have quite the same feel for where the truck is. I guess partially because I can't see the steering wheel, so I can't see the rotation.
Go straight.
Definitely improved the riverbank graphics over time. Yampa River. Wish you could get even higher field of view than you do with the default outside view, which you could like zoom out.
Go straight.
But I've never found such a control.
Keep right, and then turn right.
Okay, time for truck cam.
Turn right.
Just cut the corner, because why not?
Get ready to turn left.
I remember this
Turn
part
left.
of town. Yeah, it's all just really spread out up here. Steamboat Springs. But that's kind of cool. I like that it's not just all in the main town area. A little bit more diversity. Right, we have arrived. Time to park up.
Finally, we are here.
Finally, we're here. Dude, we were speeding most of the way. There's no need to be like that. Ooh, this is a tricky one. Ah, yeah, I've got to get it between crates and stuff at this point. Okay, mirrors on again. Though actually, like, they give 90 XP. It's literally just a case of getting the angle from here and then just sending it straight back in there. I'm fairly sure that's pretty much the angle we want. Just follow the tire tracks. Yeah, straighten out. And it's just like that. And yet that's the 90 XP one. That's even easier than most of the 40s I have been to. Whatever. Voila. Just like that. Job complete. Excellent. Another one bites the dust. 4 out of 13. We are ripping through these. Fantastic. Right, so let's try and find the next job. So Rangeley, oh, we've driven through, technically haven't been there, but we've driven through it. That would be kind of backtracking. Let's go up to Wyoming. Rawlins. Sounds good. Evanston's a little bit further. Let's just do Rawlins, shall we? Excellent.
Let's go.
Indeed. Oh good, it's the same depot for picking up the next trailer. That makes things quicker, given how far out of town we are. I didn't even pay attention to that, and I should have, because if I had to drive all the way into town, that would have been really annoying. Oh, that's it. Just grazed a curb and take for 2% damage. I was already at 3. What's the deal with those curbs being there anyway? Seriously.
Come on, there's a job to do.
Let's hit the road. Crunch. And cruise control. Not that we can probably do 65 on this road, but we'll try.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
I mean, if I was really trying to just get this event done as quickly as possible, I could just bounce, it seems, back and forth between here and Rangeley and Vernal and just keep... do a bit of a round trip. But that's a bit
Get ready to
tedious.
turn right.
Much rather progress.
Turn right.
I was hoping to sneak in to the point that he'd stop, but never mind. Close enough.
Keep left, and then turn left. Turn left.
And now we have no choice but to wait for traffic. Oh well.
Keep right.
We're not going to stop for these though. We're going to take the chance that no one comes through the intersection. And cruise control. In scenic mode and get rid of the fake mirrors. Perfect. And we're doing basically exactly what I wanted to, which is to head north to the new estates. Though we don't seem to be taking many paths that I haven't already travelled yet, but never mind. I think this might be how I first got into Wyoming in the first place. Ah, that's right. It's still a pleasant drive. Be even nicer if I could go faster, but oh well. External contracts are limited to 65 miles an hour. I mean, at least the speed limit is also 65. It's not like I feel I'm missing out. It's always annoying when I'm limited to 65, but the speed limit is actually like 80, and I should be allowed to go faster. Do we stop at the way station? I've been there before, so I can't be bothered stopping. I don't get fined because I have fines turned off. So no. Go away. Normally you get pinged with like a $2,000 fine or something. It's not insignificant, I don't think. But it's also not the end of the world. If you're really caring about revenue, then it's certainly not worth your time skipping, because you do want to keep that money. But, yeah.
Go straight.
I flop. Brilliant. Nothing coming. Nice river. Wholesale fireworks open. Yeah, don't talk to me about fireworks. It's been Guy Fawkes here this week. I'm not a fan of the... Well, Halloween as it is has been so overly commercialized that I'm not a fan of that aspect of it. The idea of kids going door to door begging for candy I'm not a fan of either. You know, every other time of year you're basically saying don't take candy from strangers, and then you're going around harassing strangers specifically for candy, which is kind of weird. But, you know, each to their own. But I'm even less a fan of Guy Fawkes, where you're just annoying people by setting off fireworks to all hours of the night. Not a fan. Trucking, welcome, Skillet. Congrats on the run earlier. Trucking indeed. This is what I do when I'm not speedrunning. Sometimes I'm also speedrunning trucking. But more often than not, we're just chilling. They do regular community events, which gives you, like, accessories for your truck, or paint jobs, which are fun. One was fun to do? Yeah, good. Yeah, it looked like you settled into it pretty quickly as well. Everyone's nervous at the start when you start off a run like that, but once you get into the flow of things, you kind of forget that that's what you're doing. Chilling is good to do? It is. I don't get a chance to do much of it, so I appreciate it when I can. And I mean, I say I'm chilling, but then I immediately break all the road rules and speed and maneuver around cars, because even if I'm not actually speedrunning, I find it very difficult to just play normally. Any game I do, always got to try and go fast. So when your commentator wasn't in voice chat, oh yeah, oops. It's a small outfit that was organising the marathon, so you get tech issues and sound balance things. Like, we didn't have game sounds for the whole thing, but I'm guessing that was just to do with how they were mixing things or something. Not a big deal. It's one of the kind of double-edged things around GDQ being as successful as it is on the one hand, how GDQ has become so successful is great because it's a really good spotlight on speedrunning as a community and the ability to do charity events. But now that they're at the stage that they're actually quite polished in how they do their production, I feel even for smaller marathons, some people do kind of feel like they expect that level of production quality, which is just not realistic. Like, you've got to remember that you always start small.
Exit right.
Exit right. Okay, oh, we're already here. That was a really short job. Game sales Australian thing, sure used to work. It probably did.
Turn left.
It might just be in relation to how they were having to do things on their channel. Doing restream and stuff for marathons and things like that is not something I would even know how to do. I'm sure it's not desperately difficult, but it is a bit of an art, and I'm sure that there's 100 things that can go wrong. So I have big respect for them doing it at all, let alone capably, let alone doing it like, I don't expect them to do it perfectly, because yeah, there's a lot that can go wrong with that sort of thing, so the fact they're doing it at all is worthy of respect. Be fun to show off below zero on GDQ? Yeah. I'd probably be open to it being submitted. I mean, Selvna has done the original game at GDQ. They generally don't want to have repeat runs, but below zero is different enough from the original game, I feel.
It's all over now.
Like, the fact that we don't have such big game-breaking glitches or anything that you do in the original makes it quite significantly different. Can I get past that dumpster area? Do I need to? Yes, I think I need to. The other thing you can do that's slightly different to help differentiate it is you do like an all achievements run or something instead. That's what I've suggested before. If people wanted to submit even the original to GDQ again, I think they would not likely take another any percent, because there's been minor differences to the run, but the essence of the run and most of what we do is exactly the same since it was last shown. But something like an all achievements run goes to a lot more places and does a lot more things, so it's different enough, I feel. But below zero itself has not been at all, so probably wouldn't have to stretch to that sort of level to be able to show that off. Submitted for AGDQ. Yeah, Once you finally get sub 18, I wouldn't wait for sub 18. Remember that a marathon run is all about just showing off the game. So if you're comfortable doing a marathon run, you don't need any level of leaderboard standing to feel that you can represent a run. You know, you're already like top 5 or whatever. It's, you know, within striking distance of the podium, basically. You've already shown that you're capable of doing the run. I wouldn't worry about waiting until you're at a certain level. I mean, the sub 38 will probably come as you're practicing anyway, so I wouldn't wait. You know, that'll come naturally. 5 out of 13 on the Hauloween jobs. Let's see if we can get another short one, shall we? Treat. Riverton. Cool. Funny you got the 38:41 before the marathon, yeah. That is often what happens. That happened when I was practicing to do an all achievements for Fast 2020, I think it was. It's an Australian or Australasian speedrunning event.
The contract. Now go.
Because I hadn't done all achievements for a while, so as I was practicing, I was getting PBs. Because you do practice a lot more when you're gearing up for the marathon, so it's only natural that you'll find improvements. A lot of the improvement is just slightly better RNG or just slightly more practice at doing the run.
Here we go.
That's the hardest thing that I find with doing any speedrunning now, let alone improving on PBs that are already decent, is just not having the time to sink into it, because it's the repetition that really gets you faster. You can do a pretty good one and done with good luck, but to really refine it down takes a lot of dedication of time, and if you don't have the ability to spend that amount of time, then it's tricky. But once you're able to, especially once you've got a good reason to dedicate that time, then you're more likely to put more effort into it. Otherwise, it's too easy to just kind of take a break, feel that, oh, I'm not making progress, I'm just going to take a break for a while. And then you actually lose a lot of just subconscious muscle memory until you get back into it. That's why derust runs are a thing. Actually, I'm just going to go straight ahead and go down the next road, because I haven't discovered this road.
Turn right.
So yeah, having a reason to keep plugging away at it and doing practice for a specific event is really handy.
Go straight.
See that your lily pad stuff can be improved, but can't find to improve it more than it is currently. Sometimes what I have done is I will watch runs side by side, so I will watch my PB back from a certain point, and I'll watch it side by side with a better run. Either the world record or the one just above it or something like that. Usually just the world record run. And you watch it side by side from certain points. I mean, even from the start, but then you kind of rebalance it at certain points, if that makes sense. Like if they're 3 minutes ahead at a certain point, then you kind of rebalance it and just go from there for that section to see, okay, what do they do differently? Is their movement just better? Did they just get better RNG? Because that happens sometimes too. A lot of it just comes down to really small improvements in movement and being efficient about gathering, not going out of your way at certain points. Just, it's a lot of little things that add up a lot of the time. And sometimes it'll be that, oh, hang on, they're going a completely different place. And it's like, oh, I'm doing a very inefficient thing. And it's only once you get to that point, like, speedrunning should be very accessible. You shouldn't feel that you have to watch top runs too much, and you don't have to feel that you have to emulate everything that they do. You should definitely play within your comfort level. A lot of the things that happen in the BZ speedrun, one of the reasons I've not dipped into it is just the kind of the level of anxiety around running out of oxygen in so many places, because you really cut it fine with bladderfish and air bladders and things like that. And you can make a safety base every now and then, I guess, is the answer to that. And that's your safety strat. But I just find it a bit anxiety inducing, so I've not really wanted to pursue that. But yeah, making safety bases is obviously the easy way around that, for survival at least, obviously. Not so much for hardcore. I don't know if I'll ever do a hardcore run in below zero for that reason. It's just a little bit tight on the oxygen. But yeah, you should never feel that you have to do that sort of thing straight away. It's only when you get to a point that, okay, if you seriously want to improve your time in comparison to others, then you have to look and see what they do and figure out what are they doing differently. Reaction of 39 minutes is, oh, this is a small gold and secured sub 41, and then you golden nearly everything. Yep, that happens sometimes. Sometimes things just click, and you just get a really good run. And it's like, oh yeah, I can do this really well. And that's always a nice feeling. I don't know, part of me does kind of want to get into doing below zero more than revisiting the original at least, because there is definite RNG points, spiral plant, hello, but at least the spawn reset is a lot kinder because you've just got 3 to choose between, and honestly until you're, I would guess until you're within a few minutes of the top spot, resetting on spawn isn't even necessary. Like, I imagine the variance between spawns is probably something like 30 seconds to a minute. So even that's nothing to worry too much about. But yeah, the RNG elements, so spiral planters seems to be the worst aspect of that. But other than that, compared to having to reset on teeth from the original, which is such a chore, which is really annoying. Or in the glitchless version of the original run, having to reset on the radiation warning is the absolute worst, because you can have a perfect spawn, you can have really quick teeth from dogs, you might get 4 free teeth before you even go looking for them, and then you get a radiation warning that is, 12 minutes or something, and it's just, you can't continue. I mean, you can, technically, but you're just going to be sitting around waiting at the end and not PB. It's really frustrating. But there's no easy way around that, unfortunately. I don't know. I've thought of different ways, but it's difficult because of precedent more than anything. Like, it would be unfair to institute an allowance that you could start from a save game, for example, or trigger the explosion manually or anything like that. It would be unfair on people who already have times posted on the boards who ran under those restrictions.
Get ready to turn.
And yeah, I mean, at that point, you're not playing the game per se, you're playing a cheesed version of it, I guess. Right. I don't know. It's tricky. Because at the same time, while respecting the original, like the earlier runners, is important, you also can't let it hold back the community. I mean, if people haven't revisited the game for years, then making their times a bit obsolete because you're allowing certain things. What matters more is, can you get more people playing the game?
Get ready to turn right.
So I don't know. It's tricky. But the choice is not mine alone to decide.
Turn right.
Love to run the OG as well. Creative is too much for you now. Creative is really fun in the original. I still enjoy the creative. Well, creative glitched is hellish. It's so frantic, pulling off all of the glitches. It is very much a glitchy exhibition, the whole run. It's an action-packed 7 minutes, to be sure, or less. But
Finding
the
recomputing.
creative glitchless is still my favourite. But I can't really improve on it, so I haven't revisited it. I have occasionally just done a run, like I'll do a bingo and then I'll just go into creative and do a glitchless run just for fun. Because I enjoy the movement. It's a fun thing to just do on stream for the sake of it. just because, you know, you got 15 minutes to kill. Do a creative glitchless run. Yeah, the SSC is really annoying. Again, though, that is one of those things of, if you have difficulty doing it, then just don't do it. It does lose you a little bit of time, but not that much. It's probably about 20 seconds or so difference. 20-30 seconds at the most, compared to using MVB to clip out of bounds and setting up SS. Well, you can still do the freefall strat. That's the other thing, is I don't like the different freefall strat we do now.
Keep right.
To land on top of a base and stuff. I find that very difficult to time.
This is where it ends.
But it's perfectly feasible to just clip out of bounds, set up SSG. I mean, you can do that even before you clip out of bounds. Set up Super Sea Glide and just swim down. It loses you a little bit of time, but it's a lot kinder on resetting. It's a much better way to get a time on the board. It's only once you're within about 20 or 30 seconds from the top spot that you need to care about doing exactly what they do. Do some stuff like sold marbles with certain short runs, play bees in every 30 minutes, do a creative run, yeah. Yeah, that can work. Hey, there we go. I mean, we might be able to, once the next update comes through for Below Zero, where they add all of the freeform difficulty selections and stuff, we might be able to do a creative run of that as well. We'll just have certain presets, like you go into custom mode and set certain options, and that will qualify as a creative run. It'll basically be like, storyline will be enabled, but everything else will be disabled. And that'll be a creative run for Below Zero. Cool, 6 out of 13.